Hello, hello, everybody, and welcome into today's webinar. We are so excited to have you guys here with us. I already see people in the chat, which is so awesome that you guys are eager and ready to learn today. So, as you guys know, today's webinar is going to be on the topic of background checks and just also learning a little bit more about MinistrySafe and what they do. So, I have Claire joining me today, which we're super excited about. But maybe drop in the chat like where you're tuning in from. I think it's super cool to see you guys all over the US and some even out of the US joining us in these calls. But I will go ahead and hop into the first mention of the Q&A section. So if you're new to our webinars, feel free absolutely to talk in the chat, communicate with one another. We love to see you guys being super verbal there. But if you have specific questions about what we're going to cover in today's webinar, go ahead and drop those in the Q&A channel so that we can circle back to them at the end. We'll have a section time for us to address any questions that you ask there, which that Q&A icon you should see, it's like the little question mark icon. You'll find that on the bottom of your screen. Make sure to drop your questions there. It looks like, I'm just going to click back to the chat just to see what you guys are saying. It looks like we've got people in Missouri, New Jersey, California. You guys are, I would assume California is having good weather. I used to live in LA, so there wasn't really ever a time where California had bad weather, but awesome. Well, thanks so much, guys, for sharing in the chat. I'll go ahead and click over just to give you kind of an intro about us before we get into the main content of today. So my name is Mariah. You guys are probably familiar. If you've seen any of our webinars, I'm typically the one here hosting. So I'm a product education specialist here at Tithely. I have been with Tithely for just over 3 years now. I started in our support team, worked through customer success and onboarding, and now to here I'm at with product education. So I've kind of touched a little bit of everything at Tithely. But just a little bit about me. I do see someone saying they're from Tucson, which is where I'm at. My husband and I just moved to Tucson, Arizona a year ago. So I guess it's not just moved, but it feels new to us. We love it here, and I love being a part of Tithely. And just enjoy the aspect of my role that allows me to like teach you guys and get a little, I would say, like in front of the learning. So I'm excited to be here with you guys. And as mentioned, we have a special guest with us. So Claire, I'll pass it to you and maybe let you share a little bit about yourself.
Awesome. Thank you. My name is Claire. I've been at MinistrySafe for 7 years. I'm an account manager now, but I have a similar journey to Mariah. I started in the customer support department, worked there in various roles, but now I'm happy to be kind of building more relationships with our customers and doing more things like this where I get to teach people about what we do and why it's so important. I have a children's ministry background as well. So like kids, I love kids, child safety is very important to me. So that's kind of what brought me here. And so I'm really excited to kind of share what MinistrySafe does and kind of answer any questions you guys have about what we do or any of our products and how we work with Tithely. Our systems integrate. So we'll talk about that a little bit too.
Yeah, awesome. Well, thanks so much for sharing. We're so excited to have you with us. So before we get into the big stuff, just want to make a highlight to customers. If you don't have our all access package, which includes subscriptions to CHMS, sites, apps, all of our products, you can get all of them at a discounted rate right now for $99 for 3 months. So this is for customers that don't already have all access. You can go ahead and scan the QR code on your screen, and that'll take you to a place where you can take advantage of that discount, which we're super excited to offer. And of course, that all access package would get you CHMS, which integrates with MinistrySafe. So now that we've gotten all the intros out of the way, I'll go ahead and pass it to Claire to get into the main portion of things. But like I said, if you have any questions, drop them in the Q&A channel, and I'll be in the chat throughout this meeting.
Awesome. Thank you. So first off, I just wanted to kind of give you guys a little background on what MinistrySafe is, what we do here. Our whole philosophy is around child safety. We provide a 5-part safety system that includes all the different pieces that we find are going to build the best protection for the children that are in your care. Our founders are both attorneys. They're civil trial attorneys who have previously represented victims, and throughout their work as trial attorneys, they began to start seeing patterns of things not being done well. So child serving organizations who were having issues, that were having problems, and they were able to determine how they could better protect kids. So kind of getting in front of the problem instead of always trying to resolve it. So what they created is our 5-part safety system, like I mentioned. It's going to have several different pieces that all work together, but I know that a lot of people don't realize how great the risk is of child sexual abuse. And there are a lot of myths and misconceptions when it comes to abuse. It is really a problem of epidemic proportion. 1 out of 4 girls, 1 out of 6 boys are sexually abused before they turn 18. That number just blew my mind when I first heard it. And so I just wanted to throw up a couple of myths and facts on the screen so that you could kind of see the difference between what we kind of think, without knowing a lot about the subject, and then the truth of what the actual, fact is. A lot of people think, I know all these people. I've been at this church my whole life. These people, have helped raise me. Nobody here is a problem. Unfortunately, we just can't know that. Most offenders are known to the victim. There's somebody that they know and trust. So just having the facts are going to help you better protect the kids in your care, because you'll be able to better spot things that maybe are a little off or that could be red flags. Background checks are not a one-size-fits-all fix to anything. They're definitely something that you should be doing, but they're not going to always have something there just because somebody may be serving for the wrong reason. Less than 10% of sexual abusers ever encounter the criminal justice system. So it's a very small percentage of people who are offenders who are actually going through the court system. There's also a myth about knowing what a predator would look like. You think about some creepy guy, but typically they're going to look just like everyone else. They're going to be even more helpful and more responsible seeming than probably other people. There's no race or socioeconomic status that is going to exclude offenders. So it's important to just kind of know there is no visual profile. And a lot of people think that the strangers are going to be people who are your biggest threat. Like I mentioned, most abusers are going to be people that are known and trusted by both the victim and by their gatekeepers, their caregivers, parents, teachers, anyone who's kind of there to protect the children. And then the last myth that I wanted to address is that abusers choose children at random. Our founders have found that is not true. They have specific things that they're looking for, and there are risks that can make certain children more susceptible. But we just want to provide more guidance as far as letting people know what those risks are, how you can protect kids in your care, and just having those pieces in place so that you can do everything that you possibly can to protect the children that you're serving. So with our 5-part safety system, there are 5 key things that are going to help you protect the children that you're working with. The number one thing is our sexual abuse awareness training. That is really the key to the whole thing. The prevention is going to start with awareness. So if you're aware of the risks, if you're aware of indicators that could be red flags. If you know more about the grooming process and what that looks like, then you're going to better be able to protect the kids that you're teaching, that you're helping in your church. And so we also like to mention the skillful screening training. That's another training that we send our administrators through. It teaches them how to better ask questions that will elicit high-risk responses. It's going to give them just all of those things that they should be looking for, and it gives them better discernment as far as the screening process. So looking through reference checks, applications, being able to spot things that maybe are inconsistencies that they should be paying attention to. Policies and procedures, having those in place and actually following them is really important. MinistrySafe offers sample policies and procedures for all different types of programs, so like children's ministry, student ministry, schools. We have all different kinds, but they're all downloadable and they're editable so that you can make them fit your needs. They're going to help you kind of put those in place so that you can continue building those blocks that's going to keep the kids safe that you're caring for. Background checks are, like I said, they're not one size fits all, but you will be able to choose the level of background check dependent on that person's role. So if you have somebody that is has more responsibility in the church, you would want to run a higher background check level on them than maybe someone who's just greeting at the door. So we have lots of available options for those. They vary by location and as far as price goes and kind of options, but we also can build custom packages as well. So if you have something specific that you're looking for, we'd be happy to work with you to create something like that for you. And the last step is monitoring and oversight. So our whole online system is designed to be able to give you oversight over all of your volunteers, all of your staff, and their screening status. So you can take a look into the control panel and see who's lacking training, who's lacking background check, who else do I need to collect the policies and procedures from? And that's going to give you a good oversight. You're able to keep track, you're able to keep record, so that if something ever did come up, you're able to prove, we've been doing these screening elements. This is our process. This is how far back we've been going. Our control panel allows you to keep all of those records there. You can download them. You can provide them to your insurance provider, anyone that needs to be able to see that proof. But it gives you a great oversight over everybody in one place. It makes it really sustainable too, because we try to keep it very simple. So I want to go ahead and switch over so that you can see our control panel. This is what it looks like when you're signed into the MinistrySafe profile. So this is a sample church account, but you can see your users here. So they're going to be your staff, your volunteers. We have tags to be able to separate them into different groups, different places that they serve, maybe different events. And then we also can see their status on training, on background checks, and on screening. So you're able to take a quick glance and say, okay, I've sent out these trainings. I'm waiting on the people to complete them, or I have this background check ready that I need to go review. So it gives you a really quick overview. And then we also have a lot of trainings available. I know I mentioned a couple so far, but we do have 16 different available trainings that you can choose from. So we have our sexual abuse awareness training. That's the flagship that you want everybody who wears your name tag to go through. But we also have that in Spanish. And then we have our peer-to-peer sexual abuse, our skillful screening training that I mentioned earlier, and our parent guardian training, which this month, the month of April, is Child Abuse Prevention Month. And so we actually have the parent and guardian training completely free for any of our members. So if you send it out through your control panel, it's free during April. But also, even if you're not a MinistrySafe member, I highly recommend you go to our website and view it for free. If you go to ministrysafe.com/April, you'll see the video there that you can view, and you can feel free to share that with anyone that you like. It's really great for parents, just understanding those risks and what you can do to protect your own children. But we have lots and lots of trainings. I'm not going to go over all of those, but we have the ability as well to order trainings, to order background checks. And then we also have a brand new feature called Reference Plus, which is part of that screening process. So if you're sending out paper applications and you're collecting paper copies of policies and procedures, this is a great solution where you can do all of that electronically. A lot of our members like to send electronic references. So some people prefer to call, but we have a lot of customers that prefer to do that electronically. So we actually have a new feature where you can create those questionnaires and you can send them out to the references of your new volunteers or your new staff members that you're in the process of hiring. And you can send that all electronically. They can fill it out, and then you'll be able to see the results posted back here. So you're able to keep all of those screening elements in one place. They're viewable in the user's profile as well. So there's a lot of customization here. All of our sample documents are available here where you can use them as templates, or you can completely create your own based on what you've already got in process. So that's a really helpful tool, and we're really excited that we just launched that recently. So if you have any questions about that, please feel free to reach out to us, and we'd love to give you, a more up-close demo of that if you'd like at some point. Let's see, I'm going to go ahead and switch back to the slides. I had one other thing I wanted to show you on the next page here. We're actually making a big update to our control panel coming hopefully within the next month or so, where you'll be able to order trainings and background checks and all your Reference Plus documents from one page. So we're really excited. Our customers have been asking for this for a long time. So I know it's going to be make everything just a little bit simpler for everybody. So you can automatically refresh everything that's past due. It's going to be really great. So keep a lookout for that in the coming weeks. We should be having some communication go out about that soon. And I also wanted to mention that we talked about the integration with Tithely. So if you already are a CHMS user, you can integrate with MinistrySafe really simply. If you just are in a profile and you click on the Activate Background Checks button, Tithely is actually offering the first background check for free for anybody who sets up the integration. So that's a really great deal. Highly recommend taking advantage of that. We all know how expensive all of those things that you have to do can add up. It's very simple though. You just click Activate. You're going to agree to the terms, and it's going to say that it's set up. It's really fast. On our end, it does take a little bit of time to get your account set up to run background checks, usually about like 1 business day, but we will let you know once you're all ready to go. You're able to choose the level of the background check through Breeze or through Tithely. You can also order trainings there as well. So it's really simple where you can take care of all of that through that one platform without having to log into MinistrySafe to order those items for your trainees or staff. Let me see if there's anything else I wanted to mention. I don't think so. I think we were going to maybe take some questions if anybody has any questions.
Yeah, awesome. Well, thank you so much, first of all, for all that information. That was super helpful. As of right now, I don't think we have any questions, which usually to me is great because you covered everything that we needed to know.
Okay.
Just to reiterate for those who may be wondering, and I did see one question on this, these are always recorded. If you've registered for this webinar, a link will be sent to you after this ends. Usually within 1 business day, the link is sent. But we also post these webinars to our YouTube. So if you ever want to go back and rewatch ones, or maybe you couldn't stay for a whole one, they're always going to be on YouTube. So make sure to utilize that. As of right now, there's no questions. I'll give it a minute just to make sure. So if you have anything, please ask now. And of course, if you do have questions that we don't address in this call or something comes up later, you can always reach out to our team. If you're a Tithely customer already, you can do that through the chat bubble within your account. Or, of course, reach out to MinistrySafe if it's something maybe more specific to something they can address. I do see someone asking if you will go over the levels of background checks and what they mean. Are you able to give us a little bit of information on that?
I can go into it a little bit. It really varies by location. So the different levels are different for different states. But the very basic search is going to include the sex offender registry. It will have identity research, so making sure that the person is who they say they are. It's going to search the multi-jurisdictional database, which is as close to a national database as there is. There's not really a true national database, but that's the closest thing. And so it includes all of those items. And then the next level up is going to include a motor vehicle report typically. So if you have somebody who's going to be driving a church van, or, commuting with other kids or anything like that, you might include that type of search. From there, you can add on the county of residence. That's where a lot of the really important information is found. Most of our customers typically will include a search that includes the county, because you're able to search where that person lives and works, and you're getting those clues back from the courts that will tell you if there's anything that you should be aware of there. And then let's see, the higher levels will include a federal search, and then as well as state search. So depending on where you live, sometimes the state and county report from the same database, so you might get more information in certain states where you're getting the whole state for a lower price.
Perfect. And then also on the screen, there should be a tab that says background check levels. If you click that tab on your screen, I just linked a resource that MinistrySafe has provided to kind of go over roughly what Claire just covered, in case you want to have it in writing. And then I'll leave that up there for a second. I see someone asking, is a live scan required for background?
So in the state of California, live scans are required by the state under Assembly Bill 506. So if you live in California, then you are required to run the live scan. MinistrySafe does not have anything to do with that. That's directly through the Department of Justice. But we can run additional background checks on top of that can give you records from other areas.
Perfect. Awesome. Well, I think I'm seeing that those are the only questions that we had in the chat as of right now. Again, I want to stress that if you do have questions after this or something comes to mind, absolutely reach out to us, and we'd be happy to address those questions. But just want to thank you again, Claire, for being here and giving us the information. So helpful. The data is honestly scary when you go over it. It's nerve-wracking, but what you guys are doing is so important. And so we just thank you for your commitment to protect kids. It's so important. So thank you again for being here with us today. Like I said, if you have questions, yeah, absolutely. So yeah, if you guys have questions, absolutely reach out to us. But that'll be it for today's webinar. Again, we're so thankful that you guys joined us, and a recording of this will be sent out as well as posted to YouTube in case you need to circle back. But we thank you all and hope you guys all have a great rest of your day.
Thank you.
Thanks. Bye.